We're definitely a pioneer in this approach.
A tentative plan to send a team of unarmed social workers to some emergency 911 calls in Cambridge could officially be rolled out as soon as next month, says Liz Speakman, director of the city's new Community Assistance Response and Engagement.
Having an unarmed civilian with experience in mental health going to mental health calls is really the right response.
Speakman tells us that the 5 members of the CARE team have extensive backgrounds as social workers and first responders. Unlike some other alternative response programs recently deployed in other cities across the country, the CARE team will not be accompanied by police when they are sent.
Man, are these people really this disconnected from reality? Police doesn't respond to these calls without being accompanied by police. There is a reason for this. It's dangerous. That now, of course, it depends what exactly do they mean by a mental health call. Like if you see a naked man walking around the streets with a machete, and he's not attacking anyone, but he's just, there naked. Are they going to send these social workers without any police, without any weapons in order to fix the situation? Do they even know that it's a mental health issue? Like, do they put the diagnosis through the phone? Like if you can do this, if you can diagnose someone through the phone, please let the doctors know how to do it as well, because usually doctors require to actually see the patient. Like, it would streamline the process. And even then, right? What if the guy is on drugs? Like, what if it's not just a mental issue, but he is under substance? And there's no talking to that person. Like, you're not going to calm them down or anything. They may become aggressive. And again, just like one example. But I don't know why this bizarre nonsense is even being entertained. Because, like, you're not going to see this being entertained in other countries that have more common sense. Like, you're not going to see this being even remotely proposed in Eastern Europe. Even in the Middle East, they're not going to propose something like this because they understand that they're going to put people in danger if they do so. And the answer is liberal ideology, like left-leaning ideology. You got these bourgeois, middle-class people that never stepped foot in a ghetto in their entire life, do not know anyone that lived in a trailer park, like have no idea what it's like to even speak with someone from a lower class than them. And all they know about other individuals, all they know about mental health is what they learned from universities, right? So their professor told them how life is like. And they genuinely believe that professor without fact-checking or experiencing it themselves. Like it's very interesting because most people know that there is a difference between theory and practice. Like even when you hire an engineer and you ask them, okay, have you ever worked at a factory? It's like, no, I've been at the university. Yeah, like you've been at the university, but like, have you actually genuinely did some work, right? Because there's a huge difference between the stuff that you're taught and the stuff that you learn when actually doing. And this is the problem here, you have these university professors that also never went down in the ghetto, but they write things as, what seems common, what seems like a good thing, but it has nothing to do with reality. So all these middle-class bourgeois people, the knowledge that they have about mental illnesses is like, this guy has ADHD. Oh, this guy has mild autism. Oh, this guy is a little bit socially awkward. Like that's what they understand by mental illness. And I believe that the cases that they view themselves as responding to is some middle-class person having the gloomies. Like they're maybe bipolar, maybe they have a little bit of ADHD, but they're having the gloomies. So their solution is to go there, show compassion, start talking with the person, calming them down, and then, hey, we got our woke seminars. Don't you want to come and make some friends at our woke ideology, and then we can protest against Israel, queers for Palestine, or other such liberal talking points. This is their version of fantasy. Does that not coincide with reality? See, when my class graduated med school, you had the opportunity to pick a specialization. Some specialized in gastroenterology, others specialized in microbiology. Like everyone picked specialization. I have this classmate, which I had a very good friendship with, and she decided to go into juvenile psychiatry. So you have this hospital, like a psychiatric ward, for people under the age of 18 to go there. And they have various problems, from schizophrenia to autism to various other conditions. They have a panic button. They have a panic button. If something happens, which it does, because I did ask her to tell me some stories, and I was even like, oh my God, like, really? And you have like 16-year-olds that get incredibly aggressive because they hear the voices, right? So like they have to press the panic button, and the security guards rush in like they're a door away to make sure that everything is fine and everything is functional. Like they do not understand what actual mental illness is. And again, like, if we're talking about a situation where someone needs to intervene, right? Like it's a 911 call. It's not like something, again, it's not like a person experiencing the gloomies and feeling a little bit down, so they need a social worker to talk to them. Like, no, we're talking about emergency calls, right? So you need to call the police, but now instead of the police, you get these chuckleheads coming in. Again, like, if the guy is high on drugs or other substances, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to talk to them. They don't care about listening. This is another thing that I noticed is part of the grander left-leaning delusion, is the idea of police being soft. You know, like, you can have a police officer that's a morbidly obese corporeal manifestation of an HR hag. And, you know, obviously the criminal can run away from her. Obviously, like, the criminal can do circles around her. Like, she's not fit. She's not in tip-top shape. There are so many videos about this on the internet. Now, the interesting thing is that this can actually work. Like, you can actually have this type of policing, but only if people consent about being police, right? So, like, if you have a peaceful country like Japan, where the officer stops someone and the person complies, they don't try to run away from the cops, they don't try to pull a gun, right? Like, they behave in a manner where people are consenting to be stopped by the police, then it doesn't really matter what type of police officer you have. Like, even here in Romania, we have police officers that are on horses, we got a lot of female police officers, but it works because people consent with getting policed. If you have a country where you have a drug epidemic, or where you have a knife stabbing epidemic, if you have like people that do not consent with being police, then you need some of the most intimidating police officers you can find. Like, it needs to be the type of person that you do not feel like talking back to. You do not feel like running away from, because you know that if you do that, you're going to be on the ground the next second. So the interesting thing is, like, seeing these liberal cities where they do need that type of policing actually say, no, what we need is people without weapons, which, you know, good luck to them, I guess. I would never apply for such a job. Like, I do not think that they can guarantee your safety, and I also think it's a waste of taxpayer money. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe after they implement this, 5 years from now, they can call it a huge success. Crime levels are down. Everyone is understanding and compassionate. However, I doubt it. I do think that this type of policing may potentially work in some cases, but again, you need a society where people actually want to be policed. Like, they consent with being policed, right? So they're not part of various gangs. They do not have long criminal records. Like they are ashamed of what the neighbors think, right? If that's the situation, maybe, but even then, I would not see something like this working. It's like, no. Because, again, if you're responding to someone that has mental health issues, that is a lot more of a broader range than just ADHD and autism. Like, there are people which do have mental issues and they are prone to violence. And what do you do then? Like, a common example that police has to deal with: domestic abuse. So you get a phone call from the neighbors that they're hearing shouting and screaming from the room next door, and the kid is crying, right? So, like, they're calling the cops. Now, you don't get the cops, you get these social workers. How do they even break the door in order to intervene if the person doesn't want to answer? Let's say they get in, and, you know, the person may have been abusive towards his wife and kids, but he was drunk, wasted. And now he's asleep under a table. And, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to talk to him? Are you going to... It's ridiculous. How are you going to take him to the police station? like this is just a waste of taxpayer money. Things that sound good on paper, but in reality, they will not work. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.